What's up guys, Ivan Carranza here, and this is the first video of 2024. First of all, I wish you all a happy new year and I hope that you had a great holiday season no matter what you're celebrating. I've been a bit off of the channel because in December I was traveling, visiting my family. Then I came back and it was the holiday season and I've been working on the upcoming tour for the Crapula, so I've been working on the material, preparing the songs, rehearsing and so on. But there's a big change in my setup. Well, something that I consider a big change. So I thought it would be interesting for you guys to see this because today is the last chance I got to record something before we go on tour, because then my equipment is going to be with the rest of the backline. So I wanted to show you briefly what I am taking with me. There's one thing that's missing that's supposed to come sometime in January, but this is the main part of the setup. Now, what is changing, and let me show you. So this is my pedalboard now, my quad Cortex, as you can see here. And now I also have this Origin FX DCX bass in the board. I've taken off my Noble DI, and I put a video on Instagram a couple of days ago about this, or well, showing the new pedalboard. This is my preset. I've shown it several times, but I'll show it once I get the final piece of gear that I need, which should come in January. But the main reason for swapping out the Noble and putting the DCX on the pedalboard, there are two main reasons. The first one is that the DCX bass sounds really good. Sounds really good. I've got a couple of sound clips that I've recorded for you guys to check of only the DCX bass, and I'm going to do a full-on review of the pedal after the tour when I have more time. So the pedal sounds good. The second reason is that gear takes a lot of abuse on the road. I'm not worried about the chassis of the Noble breaking because it's really solid. I'm not worried too much about the tubes, but still gear gets handled by other people. Dust comes in. You're not always fully in control of stuff when you're on the road. So considering the current price tag and also the current wait time for the Noble to be produced, I was looking for alternatives on how to replace the unit because it sounds amazing, it sounds incredible. I really like how it feels to play through it. In the in-ears it sounds great, but like I said, gear definitely takes a beating on the road, and replacing it at the moment is really, really tough. So I was looking at alternatives and I had heard a lot of clips of the DCX bass and I was like, you know what, let me try it to see how it sounds like and if I like it or not. And so far, I'm really impressed. I really like how it sounds like. I really like what it does to your sound. It's nothing crazy, it's fairly subtle, but the EQ is very musical and I really like how it sounds. So here are some clips, fingerstyle slap, pick playing, showing you how it sounds like on its own. And after the tour, once I get my entire setup ready, I'm going to show you what my signal chain sounds like. I'm going to record also while I'm on the road and so on, but this is the time where you have the opportunity to check out my direct signal going from the DCX bass into an interface. So let's check that out. Now, you might also be wondering, okay, but you're losing a DI out because of course the Noble has an XLR out, and that was what I was sending to front of house. On the DCX bass, what I'm doing is I'm plugging my bass here. I'm going with the out. These are not the settings, by the way. I'm going with the out into the input of the quad Cortex, and I'm going to take the XLR out of the quad Cortex for front of house. So I am missing what I was doing before, that I was sending the signal from the quad Cortex to the Noble and going out, right? To have a backup for that, I'm gonna be taking this pedal, the DSM Humboldt Simplifier bass station with me. I'm gonna throw this in my gig bag, and I'm taking also a spare cable for the Chuck's power supply. So if anything should die and I don't have a DI to go to front of house, I can grab this, plug it in, and still have a signal. It sounds great. It's tiny, it's compact. It offers plenty of sound and EQ, and there's a cabinet simulation in there. So this should help me when I run into an emergency, right? But that's gonna be the biggest change. I know there's probably gonna be a lot of people asking, why would you change the Noble? Is the DCX bass better than the Noble? Does it sound the same? Is it the same? They're not the same. They're different units. One is a pedal with tubes. The other one doesn't have tubes. The DCX bass is more like a saturation unit, I would say, because I like to run it just before the edge of breakup. So when I dig in hard, it breaks up a little bit, so it gets that tubey, amp kind of vibe. The Noble stays clean, but it has that 3D depth and punch. I'm probably not gonna get that out of the DCX bass, but I have to find a compromise. Like for the reasons that I mentioned earlier, I don't wanna risk losing or damaging my Noble, considering the price and current wait times. So I hope that answered your questions, that one is better than the other or if they're equal. But what I'm gonna say is that the DCX bass sounds great. I really like it. So other than this, which is my pedal board, I'm also using my in-ears. These are by Vision ears. Let me open this. So they're here inside. Great stuff. They sound great. I really like them. I've been using them for the past year. Yeah, past year with amazing results. So that's amazing. And also my Sennheiser instrument wireless. So I want to put this in a rack at some point or beneath a pedal board. We have to check how much space we have in the van, and that's going to dictate if I can get a bigger pedal board at one point or not. But this one is great. I really like it. And I also have my in-ear by Sennheiser as well. That's in the rack of the band. So I don't have that with me at the moment, but I've been using Sennheiser for the past year with great results. And of course, everything comes in my Peli case. That is amazing. Keeps the gear well protected. I don't have to worry about stuff getting damaged. I've seen this rolling around a flight of stairs and everything has been fine. I'm taking my Dingwall gig bag with me. It provides plenty of space for cables, tools, and I love this little pouch. It's kind of like the mono tick, so I have a lot of stuff in here as well. So I have an extra power supply for the quad Cortex just in case, string cleaner, gloves to carry the backline, Swiss Army knife, some strings that I definitely need to stock up on. And in here also go my in-ears, tools. So this stuff gets fully packed at the end, but we're leaving next week. And of course, here is my Dingwall Super P, which is what I'm taking with me. Dingwall nickel strings, fully passive, sounds great. I'm using the mono Betty strap, and I've gotten myself a wireless transmitter pouch It's kind of hard to get it in here because the width of the strap is a bit wider than what this receives. And this is unfortunately the only position where I can put it, because as you can see, the adjustment buckle is here and this one doesn't fit in there. So I'm limited a little bit by how much I can adjust, but this was better than getting it with duct tape over here, because I got tired of doing that. So this is the setup. Like I said, I'm gonna be filming and recording stuff while I'm on the road, so I hope you guys like all the footage of the tour. We're gonna be playing new songs, and I'm really excited, especially for that last piece of gear that should arrive sometime in January. Hope you guys like the video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.